everyone, I'm Julian.
And I'm Janessa. Welcome to another episode of Spark Gaming Essentials.
Here's a quick look at some of the thrilling and chilling games coming out this month. Janessa, take me to Giant Vampire Ladytown.
Okay, you asked for it. The 25th anniversary of Resident Evil is coming up, and what better way to celebrate than with the release of Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village is the 10th mainline entry in the Resident Evil series, but it's also being called RE8 since it's a sequel to RE7 as far as the storyline goes. Either way, Ethan Winters returns as the main character in the survival horror game, who is living peacefully with his family when Chris Redfield attacks them and apparently kills his wife, maybe, and kidnaps his daughter Rosemary. Well, that starts out with a bang, or should I say fang, because as Julian mentioned earlier, Ethan's attempts to rescue his daughter has him going up against Lady Dimitrescu, a very tall, very sharp-clawed vampire. To survive, you'll have to manage your inventory, purchase and upgrade weapons, and craft recipes for health items and ammo. Puzzle solving is also a huge aspect of other Resident Evil games, and this one should be no different. After you beat the game, Mercenaries, a new game mode will unlock. Reach the goal before the timer runs out, but to get a good score, you'll have to defeat the enemies and find bonus time orbs. You should pick up this game if you enjoyed Resident Evil 7, since this one is also first person, or if you enjoyed other spooky horrors like Outlast and Amnesia. If you purchase Resident Evil Village when it releases, you'll also get RE-Verse, the new online multiplayer game, for free to play with your friends. Check out Resident Evil Village when it releases for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PS4 on May 7th.
On May 14th, Mass Effect Legendary Edition resurrects 3 of the greatest RPGs ever. When BioWare first released the original Mass Effect in 2007, I don't think anyone could have predicted just what a sensation it would become. So many elements came together to create a masterpiece. The new sci-fi galaxy was vast and rich with lore. The third-person shooter combat was action-packed and allowed the player character, Commander Shepard, to use a variety of playstyles, from super soldier to tech master to telekinetic wizard. The characters that you met on your travels all had such deep backstories and motivations that they seemed fully human, even if they were technically 7-foot-tall lizard men or blue monogendered beings. And the choices you made had a real impact on the world. BioWare just loved putting players in tough positions, sometimes with the lives of their favorite characters hanging in the balance. The consequences carried over from Mass Effect to Mass Effect 2 and from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3, so by the end of the series, every player had charted their own unique and memorable path across the galaxy. The original trilogy wrapped up in 2012, but now, 9 years later, it is back. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is a remaster of all 3 games, plus over 40 DLC. Improved 4K visuals and gameplay tweaks like weapon balances and smoother vehicle controls bring Commander Shepard into a new decade. This one is an obvious slam dunk for passionate fans of the first trilogy, and trust me, you'll know who they are because they usually own at least one article of clothing that says N7 on it. But if you like sci-fi and RPGs and somehow missed out on these iconic games, now is the perfect time to jump in. I'm almost envious that you get to experience them for the first time. Check out Mass Effect Legendary Edition when it launches for the PS4 and Xbox One on May 14th.
During February's Nintendo Direct, we learned that Miitopia, a well-loved yet relatively obscure game, was getting a port from the 3DS to Nintendo Switch. Miitopia was released in 2017, and if you've been following Nintendo for years, you're likely to know what it is, but many would say that this game is severely underrated. At first glance, you'd think the game was a life sim, but it's actually more of an RPG. First off, you'll pick a class like a warrior or a mage, or perhaps something a little out there like a cat or literal tank. Then you'll customize a bunch of Mii avatars that will then take on the roles of the characters in your adventure. You'll set off against the face-robbing Dark Lord. Yes, you heard that right. The Dark Lord steals Mii's faces and uses them for evil, which means you and your party will have to retrieve the stolen faces and attach them back to their bodies. It's more silly than scary, and the port adds some additional features like more control over the Mii's hair color and style, and the ability to ride a horse. There's also a ton of weapons and perks to choose from, but you'll have to earn those perks by leveling up your character's relationships to friendship or even soulmates. It's It's not common to see a 3DS game ported to the Switch, and for many gamers, this will be their first taste of Miitopia. But I hope people give this one a chance. I think you'll enjoy this game if you like RPGs, character creation, and silly adventures. Miitopia releases for the Nintendo Switch on May 21st and is rated E for everyone.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Spark Gaming Essentials.
I hope you enjoyed our quick recap on some of the games releasing during the first half of this month.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.